paper. But what we do now is that most people, I know that here people are more enlightened, but most people, they just copy and then paste and then just cite. At the end you send, there is that possibility for us to be charged. I've seen people at the FUNAB, there is somebody that had to leave the school because the person was demoted from senior lecturer to AL. Then a professor was rusticated or was sacked. Why? They all wrote, they all jointly published a work that an undergraduate student did. They put the name of the undergraduate student. This other person, what she did was just editing. She just edited for them and she returned it. They put her name, she didn't even know. So when the owner of the paper came, traced them to that school, then it became a major problem. They had to face the Senate, and that was a judgment. They demoted some while they asked some to leave. So the issue of plagiarism is so critical that when we look at it, we cannot just joke with it. Some people said it is academic robbery. And I didn't know the meaning until I saw the work of another friend of mine that was copied word for word, but they changed the name. So the person published in another paper, they went to publish it in another place. And I'm sorry, the person published at the University of Ibadan. Somebody published it in Newsuka, and then now it was online that the lady was searching for something. She now saw a work. The only thing was that her name was not there. So they just changed the name and published. And that's why some institutions, though it is not right, some institutions say that they don't want anything that is from maybe state chapter or an association, because I can just say that I'm publishing a paper. My brother, please, our promotion is very close. I get one paper now, please just let me publish it. You know, and the person just goes ahead and publish. But it's pirated work, the work of another person copied into another person's profile. And when people begin to search, because there will be a day that we will search and they will discover that people have actually stolen the work of other people. Now back to when we started, we're looking at harvesting reports from the use of our Turnitin, or we don't have challenges, because people will, I've seen people that when you copy, especially when you do tables, my result may be very close to result of somebody, and we can't change numbers, and all these things will be highlighted. Have you ever experienced that? That people will, okay, thank you, sir. You come to the, maybe I've not seen you coming to report that, but you must have handled it yourself. People will just come around that I did this work, and it's true, but the thing highlighted it. Another challenge we've seen is that the thing even highlighted the name of the person. And then, will I now pirate my name? It's not possible. What has actually taken place was that you have published work and your name is online. You know that technology cannot be as brilliant as man, because it is man that made technology. So it is just so stupid it will go and copy your name directly. If you now edit your name, that's a big problem. So the name remains. There are some that they have to write letter to cover some persons, because you have written your name and other results. These are not things that you can change. So such problems, we have attended to them, though very rare occasion that these things come around, and then we look at it, then we are able to address such challenges. So if there are no challenges that we can report from there, we'll soon be going into the training. Some of our facilitators are very much on the road. We've been able to, we are communicating their plane landed this morning. I think they have passed, what do you call it, Ajesha. They will be very close to this place. So while we are waiting for them, we will be interacting, and maybe we should do it this way. Some of our faculty members that are here, we were talking about mentoring at a time, that how do we mentor those that have just come into academics to publish. I didn't suffer because I have friends at the University of Ibadan when I started as an academic. They helped me to go up, and then I was looking at somebody's profile on Scopus recently. Before he traveled, he had maybe just 4 or 6 publications. Then suddenly I saw 15, or is it 16? You are smiling already, okay. I saw 16. I said, how? So big, how come? You know, you've seen that advert, is it Pick Milk? So big, how come? Then we discover that in their place, what they do is this. You are doing your PhD, you must publish papers. Is that not? Please, Mr. Degu, come forward. Let's put our hands together for him. Please come around. It was in South Africa. You see, what we do is that I check everybody here. When I see your red tie now, I'll come and shake you later, sir. Congratulations, good to meet you. Then, what's the name, sir? Then I go online to check where you publish. Can I publish there? And then I see your record on Scopus. So I check. The last time I checked, you were 15, have you? On Scopus, yes, 15 on Scopus. So between the time you spend in South Africa, I think maybe under 2 years or something, how many papers did you publish for your supervisor or with your supervisor?
Well, when I was going there, I think in Scopus I didn't have any paper.
Okay.
Yes, maybe 1 or 2. But I think what happened is that whatever you do, the evidence that you are working is to publish. So the only thing your supervisor don't need to see you, but as long as you are pushing out something, you are working. So wherever you are, so whatever you do, you just, I have something new, I think we can push it out, you are working. So it encourages him to, and it encourages you to. And since you don't bother who we pay, and to him, he's even getting benefit that you are working for him, and they are paying him. So you can be sure that you are graduating as quick as possible. In fact, you can graduate in less than 2 years if you are able to push out your work quickly. Because that is the only evidence that you are working. If you are working and you are not publishing, then there is nothing to show that you are working. So even if you discover something new, even if it is a paragraph and you can modify it to a paper and you push it out, then you are working. So if you can do like 10, because my supervisor was surprised, I think in less than a year, I pushed out close to 8 papers. So, and not only that, you get to know it better. You get to know it better. So they are teaching you. They will return your work. They will say you should go and do this, go and do this, go and do this. So you are learning in another way. So different people are now teaching you all over the world. They will abuse you. They will say you are supposed to write it like this, you are not supposed to write it like this. And then you are improving every day. So I think it's a good way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's put hands together for him. I think from what we have heard from him, he has been able to, especially faculty that supervise PhD here, when people are graduating, somebody helped some of our friends at the University of Ibadan. They said he's using you people, but thank God those guys were publishing for the man. So when they were looking for a job, they finished their PhD, instead of starting at low levels, some of them had 14 papers, 15 papers, though with the name of their supervisor also. Supervisor may have maybe about 10, while you have 5 as the lead author, but they were not treated like other people that were just coming. And this is not just I copy, you copy kind of publication. It is your work that you are doing, then you begin to publish along that line. I know of a friend at the University of Ife, she kept publishing. Some people said that I don't want to publish my work so that when I want to do Turnitin on Scopus online, it will, if you are the owner of your work, when you are publishing, you can still use another present. It's just like I was telling somebody online, I cannot just play it for you. She was saying, Abi, he was saying that how can I, all the work, to change 56% out of 76? How will I do that? I said you have to do it, that you didn't do it from the beginning, that's why it's hard. From the onset, if one has, Mr. Regbe, you are the one that tested my work. It was 1%. And we have tested some other people's work. Mr. Adebisi, are you here? He's our digital curator. And there are some people that will bring their work. Have you met 1% before? From our faculty. What is the lowest you have met? 5%. And that is a very good one. I think Dr. Kayode from computer science came. I think she achieved something around that. So I was writing not with consciousness of maybe to test on Turnitin, because people just have seen a lot of synonyms. People just be doing synonyms, and that is not paper writing. But somebody just comes, you are interested, you are passionate, then you start writing. There was a paper I wrote recently, Green Library. When we first talk about Green Library, we are talking of sustainable, what do you call it? That we want to mitigate the effect of the global warming, and how can library contribute to this? Then we started looking at, a lot of factors. People use water that are meant to be used for flushing, and somebody can just get to toilet. You are washing your hands, and then you just leave the tap open. That if the library can have a tap, a kind of tap water that is when you put your hands there that the water comes out. Have you seen that before? You just put your hands there, so they're not wasting water, and indirectly the library is contributing. Then I talk about online resources, that if we use online resources, we can reduce the use of vehicle. If everybody has to travel down to library, you drove down, I drive, everybody drove down to the library, then there is emission of gas. So how can we reduce that? If we have online resources, you can access materials from the comfort of your home. But if everybody is moving to the library, so I had the idea of what I wanted to write, so I just started writing. Then I was looking for things to support. There are people that have already written about that, and then we'll use that to buttress our point. And before you know what is happening, you know that you have actually made impact. Now, if you have had challenge in reducing, your percentage for Turnitin, can we see your hands up? Because here is going to be practical. We want to assist people on how to reduce their percentage for Turnitin result. Any other person? You have a challenge with that? Anybody? Okay, no response. So if we are good with that, I think we are making progress. Okay. So we'll soon begin. Another aspect that we are looking at this morning, we started at a time the what do we call this group that were divided into research clusters. How well has the research cluster been functioning in Landmark University? And some people have just come, they've not been part of research cluster in Landmark University. If you belong to a research cluster, can I see your hands up? In Landmark University. Please, let's have show of hands, research clusters. Most of these clusters have gone moribund. These clusters have gone moribund. So we are looking at how to revive the research clusters. I was able to publish 13 papers in a year. That was 2019. You can check it. But how did I achieve that? We divided ourselves into clusters. Apart from the university cluster, because when we saw that people were not going to help our destiny, we must help our own destinies. So we divided ourselves into clusters. I only need to initiate, not to write for everybody, but I need to initiate 3 or 4 papers in a year. I'll be the lead author, then give everybody the part they are to write on. Not that I will now write for everybody, put their names, so when they are writing, they put my name. That is not cluster. I initiate. So I'm going to take the background because I'm the one that know about my work. But you will take analysis. Then somebody will go to the field. So when it comes to your own, you write background. Then all of us will assist you. And by the time we were going to see the end of the year, you know, my profile was just going up. Just this year, then some people started, and the benefit of it is that people see are you on ResearchGate? Somebody will just send Ikubani. Ikubani has published so article. I say, me too. You know, and the good thing I've enjoyed is that some of my friends that usually see the pop-up, they will now call me, hey, be working alone, no, let's collaborate together. I will say, do you have topic? Before you know what is happening, you begin to have inter-university collaboration. And from outside the country too, people begin to call. In academics, they say people grow in, people grow out. Some people grow in, they are popular within the university. All our journals, we publish in everything, we don't collaborate out. But when you grow out, people, I have a friend that has, I'm not exaggerating here, you can check. He got $100,000 for, in fact, I was saying that, why did I choose that? He just said the use of social media for HIV campaign. And he applied to Carter Foundation. Please, if you are not yet 40 or you are just clocking 40, be looking out for Carter Foundation. They sponsor anything that relates to science. Carter Foundation. But they do it for federal universities. University of Ibadan, University of Ife, and then I think Unsuka and another university in the north. But the wisdom here is this. You can collaborate with somebody at the University of Ibadan. So the person will be the lead author, but you know that you are going to be part of what the person is bringing on board. That is what I am doing. The guy is the lead author, but I am a part of the work. The first one he did, I was not able to partake of the $100,000. But the now did re-entry grant, which was $35,000. You know, there are ways you have to be humble. I said, please, I will be anything you want me to do. And before we know what is happening, he started pushing works to me. And each time we have meeting, that is what we write, they send money to our account. And I'm beginning to enjoy that. But I don't belong to the participating university. But because the person has been seeing my work, he could accept me as a partner, because somebody that you just give something to that would not, and quick response. We started working, collaborating outside. So we need to grow out instead of growing in. And that is what is required in academics. I will call some persons out to ask them about how they got involved in some projects. If your mind is already telling you, may God forgive us. There are some people that have participated in some events, and how they got, you know, when you talk of Bill and Melinda Gates, they're in America. As a matter of fact, somebody, all of us from Landmark University, the person sponsored everybody to go to Covenant University. That is something on agriculture, women something. And the woman is not in agriculture. You understand? The woman is not in agriculture. The thing was made for agriculturists, but she was eating on that. The money we all spent, our accommodation, our feeding, it was not Covenant University that sponsored it. It was the woman. And I learned that she also asked people that are working for her. She's paying their school fees, their PhD students. She's paying for everybody. So if we can collaborate to win grants, people said that people that win grants don't fight about salaries. You not see when people are saying they are doing a looter, they will just walk away because they don't even remember their salary. So we need to collaborate to win awards, to win grants. If we can win grants as institutions, maybe I have $50,000, you have $100,000, and then we combine everything together. I don't want to talk about, there are some sharp practices that some of my friends did. The guy won award, he won grants, and he went to build a house. So what the money was supposed to be used for was not actually used. And that is the problem they have with us blacks. Those people will use and give records. But those guys, they just went ahead and built very nice place, bought lands, and then they started, what do you call it? This Lapo something, what do you call it? Microfinance. And he's a big boy. So the project gone on the ground. Dr. Alabi. Dr. Alabi, please. I need your presence. Are you comfortable to tell us about how you got involved in Bill and Melinda Gates project at a time?
This is an impromptu speech. Actually, I was just opportuned. The first time Professor Shonaya came to Landmark University, I think I met him for the first time when he came to Landmark University. So I had to interact with him. We talked together, and there he knew I was in animal science. I was not the one that got the grant. It was Professor Shonaya that got the grant. And the grant is for African chicken genetic gains. So they had to source for people that they will have to work with. And that was how I was contacted, that if I am interested, although people applied, professors applied, but I did not drop any application. I was just called that, do I have interest? If I have interest, they have a project, and the project will be, it will go on within the vicinity, my vicinity. I will have to coordinate the states, and at times I will have to travel out of the country. That, can I make it in a private institution? I said, since it is an international project, and then it's going to add value to my life, there's no problem. And that was how we started the African Chicken Genetic Gains. I think that is the story.
Please put your hands together for, we need to share experience. Thank you very much, ma. I was not the one that won the grant, but my friend called me into it. And it is about perception. If I'm not publishing, they are not saying anything about me, nobody will call you into anything. So the more reason we need to publish across institutions, not just collaborating. Some people, it is Owolabi and Aregbe, Owolabi and Aregbe, Owolabi and Aregbe, Owolabi and Aregbe. Just Landmark University. Why not Owolabi and Chingbudu and Aliru? You understand? We all match together. People are reading people's work. When people go for promotion, that is how somebody was invited to participate in a grant. That person went for promotion. He printed out his work. But they started seeing his name. You know, when your name must be in somebody's work. So they kept seeing it. The first person came, they saw his name there. Another person came, they saw his name there, because as we publish together, you will not say that you just remove everybody's name. So they said, this guy's name keeps coming up and is in our field. How do we contact him? That's how they called him. They said there's a project we are doing, and then this guy is active in publishing. Not that all of you see, this one is publishing, you are publishing with this, and all of them went for interview at the same time for promotion, and his name kept coming up in their papers. But if we collaborate within Landmark University alone, then we are growing in. I've seen people that are very popular. One of my friends was telling me that, I like the way you are doing in your institution, everything we see. I said, you'll be locally relevant and internationally useless. I've seen people, they fight, you know, the fridge in my office must be fine, the decoration of my office must be good, you know, just fighting for office. But when you see a man that is just out for research, maybe it's in the laboratory, it's in the library, or any place, he doesn't even care about office. So that we can actually grow out and people will be able to make necessary impact. I wish we could departmentally, you know, pair up. Yes, we still respect the universities, what do we call it? Division that we are into research clusters. But what has actually helped me was the cluster we did in our department. Then other people from Covenant University also, we partnered with them. Then the friends of those people also, with time they started getting involved in our area of study. Of recent, I've been delving into a line that is not well canvassed or well spoken of in our field, which has to do with medical sciences, bibliotherapy. You know, I didn't know much about it when I started, but you know, it's good to make noise about the little thing you know. I was just, every little discussion, bibliotherapy is, then I started reading more about it. And then some people in the medical sciences started calling that this is our field, that yes, we know that librarians also deal in that. Can we collaborate together? They will do much of the work, because my own area is limited to developmental bibliotherapy, but they're into medical bibliotherapy. But when they are mentioning people that will eat the grant, we will do it together. And my own role also will be contributed. But if we just grow in, there is no way we can actually make that international impact that we want to make. We are doing this to just buy time before our